Hi everyone, this is Dayna. Today I'm going to touch on traveling and boarding for our kids on the spectrum. Can a teenage child on the spectrum travel and live on their own? Are they able to handle adverse situations? And the questions goes on. Mainstream teenagers will start to travel by themselves to school or to other activities as a sign of independence. As autistic children approach their teenage years, they would also start to seek out to display more independent behavior if their sense of social awareness is relatively high. They also need the sense of recognition and respect that they are growing up and they have the ability to deliver more responsibility to their family members and at school as well. In my number 29 video, I covered independence of our child on the spectrum and how we should train them to travel on public transport. I'm not just going to talk about traveling on public transport today, but also traveling to other countries independently. Is this possible for kids on the spectrum? The reason why I brought this up is looking at the possibility of sending our child on the spectrum to a boarding school. This is not an easy task to accomplish. I hardly see mid-functioning child attend boarding school as bullying and abuse could be a major concern for parents. I have also heard how higher functioning teenagers who have attended boarding school ended up unhappy or getting into all kinds of trouble and ended withdrawing from school and going back home with a negative experience. All these negative stories have also deterred me from sending my child to a boarding school overseas. Also, as I am brought up without attending any boarding school myself, I am probably not very familiar with the different choices of suitable boarding schools available in different countries at this stage. Of course, research can be done with site visits, but the level of support and curriculums offered can vary, and it is a tough decision for parents. In my opinion, I would go for the independence and acceptance level of the school community versus the academic part of it if it is a boarding school. In one of my early intervention series, I emphasized the importance of introducing academic once the child started having a verbalization skill. However, more time and effort will shift towards independence and social skill training as the academic gap would get wider between the special kids and their mainstream peers as they develop and grow into teenage years. So I would suggest to parents who are thinking of sending their kids on the spectrum to boarding school to firstly train the child to travel by themselves on public transport first. Even if we can travel over with them, the child would still need to learn on the transport system that he would need to deal with in his new living environment. It is important to look for a community with support, and a smaller co-sharing would work better for kids on the spectrum as there would be less to handle and for them to process, as leaving the family to be independent is a way allowed for kids on the spectrum. I am not negative towards sending special child to boarding school, but I think they have to be very ready, not just physically independent, but also to be independent emotionally as well. Even a lot of typical children struggle leaving their family for the first time. Be sure they want to go and go through expected and unexpected situations with them before they leave. A positive mindset leads to positive thinking. This is Dayna from daynalim.com. Please kindly subscribe to my channel for the latest video.